Degrees are for suckers. If you believe Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the traditional path of going to school, getting a degree, finding a job, and saving slow and steady for retirement is all a sucker's game. Hi again, this is Douglas Lucky Larson on the Retire Early and Often channel, and we are talking today about college. Now, if you read his books or listen to Robert Kiyosaki on his great podcast, you know that he has very few good things to say about traditional education, even though his own dad was a teacher. Now, I really like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and his books and podcasts, but I don't believe that a targeted and practical education is a waste of time or money. In fact, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad company uses and recommends attorneys and accountants with lots of traditional education. Now, there's some other oft touted examples of avoiding school, like the many well known CEOs that were college dropouts. Of course, you've heard of Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, Larry Ellison, Richard Branson, Ellen DeGeneres, and even Henry Ford. Yeah. Now, many of these successful people will also tell you that a huge part of their success was actually going to college in the first place, where they paired up with people and opportunities that they would not have connected with otherwise, and then they dropped out to start their entrepreneurial journeys afterwards. Now, as we know, that doesn't work for all college dropouts, not even close. One statistic I found, and we'll read that in the next article, that college grads on average earn about $30,000 more per year than just high school grads. And again, that's per year. So, like the board game called Life, if you ever played that, it really starts to add up after a while. However, if you get a lame, unusable degree, well, and then get huge amounts of debt achieving that degree, you might end up worse off than many people without degrees. Again, we'll read about that in the article on the next page. But let me tell you my story just briefly. I graduated from college a bit late. I was kind of a surf bum, and I attended school in San Diego and Hawaii. Well, there was good waves there. What can I say? After graduation, I was able to pay off my student loans within 5 years. And I had already purchased 6 different homes, most of them on Maui, by the time most of my peers had only purchased a single home. My day job enabled me to acquire loans and mortgages that I could not have gotten without it. My education enabled me to eventually not need my degree, but I have no regrets about taking that path. Also, let's be clear, not all degrees are created equal. A teaching degree may be very fulfilling, you know what I'm saying? But unless you're at a college doctoral level, you're probably not going to make a whole lot. A bachelor's in psychology might get you a social worker gig that barely pays the rent. However, many science degrees, including electrical, chemical, civil engineering, can bring some great monetary rewards. Computer science and many business degrees are other obvious choices in our world today. Now, other advanced degrees like law or medicine can also pay very well. Some well-paid, lesser-known degrees include pharmacist, dental hygienist, and physical therapy. I recently came across this article that we're about to take a look at, and it was on this very topic, and I wanted to dig in a little bit deeper with these things, so let's take a look at the next slide. I've already underlined a few things here, as you can see, but let's read a couple of these statements. First, the headline. Gotta love this. 28% of degree programs leave students financially worse off than before, says a report. And I love this. This is a big duh. College is getting more expensive by the year. For some students, a diploma isn't worth the rising price tag. So, is college worth it? Well, let's dig a little deeper. This study looks at the return on investment for what a student can expect to make over her lifetime after graduating. And they took a look at 30,000 U.S. bachelor degree programs. That's a lot. For some students, particularly those in certain tech, economics, and healthcare fields, the answer is an unequivocal yes, like engineering majors, 95% of which can expect to make more than $80,000 by mid career. That's pretty good. But 28% of college degree programs actually leave alumni feeling worse off, well, financially worse off than if they had never gone to college at all. Wow, that's sad. The worst offenders? Only 1% of psychology graduates will earn more than $80,000 a year by the time they're 35. Darn. The odds aren't much better for those in education and the arts. I know we know this, right? It seems pretty obvious, but a lot of people need the reminders. The cost of college education has long undermined the value of degrees. The cost, read that. And we know that government intervention in grants and loans and all those kind of things, it just has jacked up the price of college, is what it's really done. When the government throws money at things, it causes distortions. The cost of let's see, in the last decade alone, in-state tuition and fees, it grew by 16% in inflation-adjusted dollars. That's crazy. That's in a decade. It grew by 16%. That's after inflation. So, ouch. With the average student loan debt hovering around $30,000 per borrower, deciding where to study and what to major in is a risky business. Yeah, risky, but not really, because guess what? You can do your homework, like reading articles like this, and figure it out. The institution matters a great deal. Princeton University, their programs give students better ROI than, say, the University of Pennsylvania. Okay, yeah, all right, we know that. Harvard, yeah, good. Oxford, sure. But the major plays a much more outsized role, even at some of the most competitive schools in the country. All right, UPenn, finance major, is one of the most lucrative programs in the U.S. Huh, I didn't even know that. But most graduates are raking in over $288,000 by age 35. Dang, that's sweet. Film majors from the same school, on the other hand, make just over 45,000 by that age. 45,000. Hope you like cat food. Yikes. What a student chooses to major in, the researchers conclude, is perhaps the most important financial decision that he or she will ever make. All right. I think we get the picture here. So there are some other incredible careers that don't even require degrees at all. I think about plumbers. Don't laugh. I know. I had to call a plumber recently for one of my rental properties, and it was a holiday weekend, and I gotta say, they were like $450 just to show up. An hour and a half to 2 hours later, they couldn't guarantee me. It was already like 8 p.m. at night. I had tenants with water in their basement, and I'm like, you know what? It's not what I want to do, but $450 to show up 2 hours from now? I don't think so. I went over there myself, and 40 minutes later, max 40 minutes, I was done. We had taken care of it, and all was good. It would have been at least $600-700. Plumber, it can pay well. So don't laugh. Electricians, another good one. I tell you what, if you need those guys, especially right now after the whole COVID craziness, and a lot of, the older guys have retired. I'm telling you, you're paying big bucks. You're paying $100 an hour to start. And again, if you need somebody in a crunch, in a hurry, on a weekend or something, you're gonna pay more than $100 an hour. I promise. Mechanics for diesel and regular cars, as well as for electric cars now. I got a couple friends with Teslas. They say every time that there's an issue, it's 3 to 6 weeks before they can even get an appointment. Sometimes they bring their car in after 3 weeks, and then it's another 3 or 6 weeks before they get the car back. So I'm sure that understanding how to work on these electric vehicles, going to be huge in the future. Not to mention, it takes a programmer sometimes to figure out some of the other stuff. I mean, autonomous driving and all those things. Yeah, good careers. Again, I know that some of this seems like, it's a big duh, right? But I went to school with a ton of people. And I know a lot of millennials who say, you know what, I just want to love what I do. And I just can't get used to a corporate job and like sell out to the man, dude. Trust me, I pursued the arts and a lot of surfing and some other fun stuff in college. But, I'm never going to tell you what to do. But when you got a wife and kids and a mortgage and insurance bills, some extra money feels really good. You don't have to do it with college. There's lots of other ways to do it. Investing, like real estate. It's been great for me. Those always help. But little extra money, really good. And if you're going to go to college, the right degree makes a big difference. Hopefully this infotainment can help you and others that you know. Please give us a thumbs up and like and subscribe and share this video. We sure appreciate it. I hope to see you on the next one.